1, 12, 40, 100, 102, 201, 304, 401, 502, 503, 508, 800, 1,000, 1,000, 101. Okay, where are you, Mama? Okay, 101. 1,101. Everybody 1,001.
APC for life. APC for life. 15 pa, 1 vote. 15 pa, say the way me. APC for what? For life.
I'm a Nigerian. I have people working for me privately. I don't see the level of what people are talking about because I see them and I keep asking them questions. How are things? How are they adjusting? What are the problems?
Hello, welcome. This is Say Prayer, guys. May Nigeria never happen to you. My name is Richie Adeosi. I welcome you once again for this episode of the podcast, the live stream. And well, these days it's so difficult to be able to just say you look away, you don't want to get involved or say anything. I think it's too late for everyone now, everybody, all the peoples of Nigeria, no matter what part you come from, whether you are in Nigeria or outside of Nigeria, you have anything to do with Nigeria. I think it's too late in the day for you to say, oh, yeah, I know we said yesterday, keeping quiet is no longer an option. This is beyond keeping quiet. So when you don't keep quiet, what's the next thing to do? You organize, you mobilize, you take action. So today we are looking at another issue, or some other issue areas, rather, that should get you off your butts and standing. There are issues that seem to propel Nigeria towards the highway to anarchy. Yes, you heard me right. Propelling Nigeria towards the highway to anarchy. Yes. Okay. So that's how we've titled this episode, this live stream, this podcast of today. The visions or the visuals that the technical people showed you to set your mind on this edition today. You've seen some of them. Maybe you've not seen some of them, but then you've seen them now. As they're all put together, it just says to me, not a personal opinion, but from all I've been reading, videos, texts online, and even from traditional media, if you like, the so-called mainstream media. For the peoples of Nigeria and Nigeria, the call for Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to resign is existential. It's not political. Why is it existential? You see, the level of insensitivity is ludicrous. All across the length and breadth of that administration, I mean, the personnel, manning that administration. You have a presidential spokesperson. In spite of all that's going on in Nigeria, it's not the general population alone that saw bread being thrown to or at human beings in the streets of Ekiti. He must have seen it. Yet to him, Mr. Bayo Nanuga, referencing here now, hunger and poverty are rumors. He has not seen them. Why is it possible to see them? But these are the same guys who are kept, maybe if you are new to this program, I would say something to say, where did you get that from? But we've been at this for a while. These are the same guys I've told you, the Lagos media mafia. They've been there for eons, available for hire to the highest bidder. From eon, I know. I've been in the media business for about 40 years. I stopped the publication of my magazine in 1988 because I would not sell out. No, I would not go against what I believe, which was the reasons for which I chose to become. It wasn't an accident for me. It wasn't because, oh, there's money here and people can give you money and I go and become a journalist. No, I chose to be in the media. Not so. Most strategic. Okay, if you get here, that person, after some time, they will call you, they would appoint you to become something. But who are you? You have no soul. Am I digressing? No. Mr. Bayo Nanuga, outside of several other things he has spewed, insensitive as those other ones were, this is the height of it. As if that is not enough. Somebody just sent me a video and some media materials about the First Lady again. Yes, the First Lady. Senator Oluremi Tinubu, the wife of the President of Nigeria. Just like when the infamous video of her carrying a basket with vegetables in it, and like, oh, well, what are they talking about? You farmed this from her backyard. Yes, why can't you farm your backyard? You can go to your backyard anytime. Can my aunt in the village or other people's aunts in villages across Nigeria go to their farm, even if vegetable farming were the thing now to take everybody out of poverty? It didn't stop there. These new materials were like, well, to sell akara and kulikuli and roasted corn, it's not really a big deal. You don't need, hello. You went to Ekiti to campaign for election purposes. You went to a state that women and children, well, that the Nigerians, some Nigerians in that state, from some communities in that state, including women and children, had been in captivity for over a month before that time period. As of today, they've been in captivity for about 2 months. Not a mention not a visit to the community. And then you look at the hungry peoples of Nigeria, you spit on their faces. Your husband's spokesperson says hunger is a rumor. You say, what's the big deal? Go and roast akara. You go and fry akara and roast corn. Was that the kind of opportunity you had or you have now? Is that why they, well, you say your mandate, is that what is that mandate? Is it what to? Okay, your husband started by saying there's agbado, there's, but beyond the comedy, the theatrics of all of those, where is your humanity, Mr. Bayo Onanga? Where is your humanity, First Lady Oluremi Tinubu? Hold that, your left hand. Hold it so you don't open and goes away. That's economic. I'm saying the call for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to resign is not political, it's existential for the peoples of Nigeria and for Nigeria itself, for the survival of the peoples of Nigeria and Nigeria itself as an entity. Even he himself should see that. I'm sure he sees that. I'm sure they see that. Because I've looked around to ask myself, what is this present administration in Nigeria going to campaign with? What are they campaigning? There's not, each time any of them open their mouths, it's like emperors dictating to the people. It's not, they're not speaking as people who are looking at going to meet the people to say, vote for us. No. They are dictating. They are declaring. On this security and insecurity spectrum, Nigeria couldn't be on the much broader and steeper highway to anarchy. It's instructive for everyone to remember that the January 1966 coup didn't just appear from anywhere. And there was a trigger that's been being quoted by, depending on who wants to advance whatever satanic or devilish acts or policies against the peoples of Nigeria. That's their starting point. It's called some people's coup, which led to some other people trying to obliterate those people, which led to a civil war. But it's important to remember that all of that started from the southwest of Nigeria. In case you guys have forgotten, I keep reminding you, I won't get tired of reminding you that it is southwest. It was the southwest of Nigeria. Some children, I've just mentioned Ekiti. The children and the women I just mentioned, those communities from Ekiti, including from a church, from, worship services in Ekiti State. Those incidents that happened before the Oyo incident, where children from some schools in the Owerri local government, Oyo State, were abducted, kidnapped, over a month ago, closing in on 2 months now, in Oyo State. How has it been handled? The handling of that situation is not as if, don't get me wrong, well, of course, we brought those to bear severally different episodes, different editions of this program. There are children and women being held in captive across Nigeria. But why is everybody focusing on the Oyo one? The Oyo abduction and kidnapping incident shows how political, yes, how much the politicians in Nigeria, the political class, how far they are determined to go to get their way. Am I accusing anybody? No, of course, yes, I'm accusing. Well, I'm accusing. If you are president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces, your citizens are kidnapped, have they been there, you are not a politician. So I'm accusing you of not doing anything. What are you doing? Talks? Don't worry, there will soon be. Have you been in captivity for one day? Do you know what it means to be out of your home, your natural environment where you do whatever you like for one day? Have you tried? Has it happened to you before? Especially in environments that are unbecoming for a normal human being to be in, spend a day in the forest, not by your own decision that you went camping or farming or anything like that, or sightseeing. What were the initial optics? Before then, a particular political activist had gone online, make videos declaring that nobody can stop him from supporting President Tinubu. Fine, yes, it's a free world. Support anybody you want to, have your reasons, but then should you also now be able to say nobody else, everybody else must now support the person you support? No, you don't have that right. All that, nobody was going to come, no other political party or politician is going to come to the Southwest to campaign. You get where I'm going now, eh? 1960. The 4 elections. So, yeah. Akintola were there. So it doesn't happen as a surprise to you because they've made you to stay with what they want you to discuss, what they want you to focus on. They create one distraction or one diversionary incident. You begin to talk about that one. They create another one. You begin to talk about one. They make you move your eye from the main issues. I have never been. By training, by practice, it makes sense, we go on. It doesn't make sense, I'll tell you, no, this is not making sense. This is not going to make sense, actually. Not even this is not going to make sense. From that point, we can part ways. We have parted ways over issues that it's about principle. Unfortunately, the only principle that the political class and their cohorts have in Nigeria is the principle of looting, of stealing, of depriving the people of Nigeria of the enormous blessings God has deposited in that country that should be for the benefit of all, that's sufficient, more than sufficient to be for the benefit of all. So when people don't get their way, what do? They get into applying some devilish. I'd said so in this book. When the politicians don't get their ways, this 16 years ago, even before it started, before they got this crazy, if they don't get their way, they find a way to instigate social violence, bombings, and all of that. And we started. October 1, 2010, Eagle Square. That was the first first bombing to draw everybody's attention to say, look, this is a new era in politicking in Nigeria. After then, there have been mysterious plane crashes, mysterious bomb blasts in airports and all. Yeah. Now, Oyo, back to Oyo. I went back to those to bring your mind to the issues at stake, not issues at stake. These things are not new. The strategies or the particular, pattern is a pattern, but then the strategies for a particular period might not be like the one for yesterday, but the goals are the same. That same individual that said, oh, it's President Tinubu that pardoned me. Good. Pardoning people is good, but I guess pardoning Nnamdi Kanu, even if you say pardon, it doesn't deserve. But we'll come back to that. That same individual, Sunday Igboho, then went on to say that he has received approval about the time of the kidnapping of the children in Oyo. We have gotten approval from the presidency to set up a 50-man strong security vigilante or whatever group. I have not seen any press release from Mr. Bayo Onanuga saying that that's not true. I've not seen any. Please, if anybody has seen any, please send to me. Send in comments, send to me here, and I will read it and I'll apologize. I've not seen any government declaration said, no, this is not true. He made videos. People quoted him. People made content out of that. No. Then what was the next thing? The president himself now signs an executive order for the creation of 1,000 forest guards. How did they recruit those 1,000 forest guards? Number one. Number two, should the president and commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria need to create any additional security groups outside of the Nigerian military and all the security agencies, all the ones that are going to harass people in courts, in the public spaces, throwing tear gas at people for speaking up, asking you to be accountable? Should that be a move? Is that a move of a commander-in-chief? Now I'm signing a bill to create forest guards to be trained within what time period, to be equipped how, by who, which kind of weapons. You have military. The same thing happened. There are complaints about the National Security Advisor all over the place about how he's handling security issues, and now his statement and body language. What does the president do? Create another distraction, another diversion. Homeland security. Somebody in charge of homeland security. Confusion, anarchy, loading. Who reports to who? National Security Advisor, and then the advisor for Homeland Security. Who? Then there's a defense minister saying something else. Then there's chief of defense staff calling terrorists prodigal sons. The National Security Advisor says terrorists are his brothers. So it's clear that there's no agreement. So when I'm saying the call for the president of Nigeria to resign is existent, it's not political. It's for existential reasons for the peoples of Nigeria and for the geographical entity called Nigeria. Speech, body language, action has not shown that it's capable of taking. Forget politics, please. This is not about like him or don't like him. I'm not his supporter, but this has to do with survival of the peoples of Nigeria. And then, as if all of create this, I've gotten permission, nothing is said, or create the forest guards. It's not. The same individual, Sunday Igboho, there are contents online given people, whether they are kidnappers or not kidnappers, that's not what the case is. That's not what the issue is. Let's get this. It says someone has no authority again. So an individual, one person, regardless of who he is, what he is, educated or not educated, polished or not, whatever, that's not the issue. Says, I give you people ultimatum within this time and this time, return these people or else. And the reports are that they obeyed him. Yet, President and Commander-in-Chief and all the might of the federal government. So who's in charge? It's the same strategy that the bandits and the terrorists and the kidnappers have employed, and their handlers, okay? Handlers meaning sponsors, funders, you know, puppeteers. Same strategy. Make the Nigerian military look weak and come and say, look at if you can deal with your military garrisons and military personnel, including your generals this way. Who are you? Fear. Please go and check for the meaning of terrorism, what terrorism really means. It's not just the shooting and no. They manufacture dread, fear. And that is it. So you see the drama playing out in the Southwest. It's drama. Oh, I am. It is all set up going into 2027. I'm powerful in this place. Nobody can come here. That's Sunday Igboho. It's not just about that, those kidnap issues. No, don't get that. No, yeah. And people are hailing him. Some other groups are call him to order. Those other groups who are calling, the Fulani community, which are the people who are said to be calling him, the report says so online, alleged and it's reported online, the federal government should call him to order. How many of you have called the terrorists and the bandits and the criminals that have been wasting the peoples of Nigeria and that part of Nigeria, northern part of Nigeria? How many of you have called them to order? How many of you have spoken up? Directly calling them out, from the Sultan to the other emirs, to the state governors. What do you hear? 3,000 repentant terrorists and bandits reintegrated in society. A general is killed in your state. The state governor says the bandits are brothers. We go. Well, I will play you a video. You know, I will play you so that you understand. Which day have you seen President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in a national broadcast and say, you bandits, you terrorists, I give you this ultimatum. This is how it's going to go. No, it's a spokesperson placating. Sunday Dario went on air the other day to say, well, they know the names of the terrorists, know where they are. But then what is the problem? He says collateral damage. Collateral damage. So what should they do? What collateral damage happened in Odi? As terrible as it sounded, but then brought sanity to know that you do not attack security personnel. Sakibiam, same thing. You do not attack security personnel. As when we were growing up, if these strong boys, these strong gangsters in the villages, in the communities, police will come to arrest somebody. They will say, "We'll show you." Police come there. They will beat the police up. When they return, in short, before they return, the whole community would find to empty themselves into the next community, run away, so that the police do not come back and meet them because they beat up the police officer. So the present administration it didn't start from them, but they're the ones, in fact, now, they're the ones who could do what this person in this next video did now. Drama or no drama, but it's saying somebody doesn't matter anymore. And the one now telling you, if you don't do this, what I'm going to do. Now, imagine if here is where the anarchy is loading up. Sunday Igboho has 10 heads, he doesn't. Different ethnic nationalities across Nigeria have people who can do crazier things than what he's doing. But they have been law-abiding. But because somebody is being propped up, defended, covered, sponsored by this government, it's not an allegation. Oh, I'm supporting, he's my father. Even, use some if you like, uncomplimentary terms to reference those who would say he should not support President Tinubu. He's not the only one who can do that. I know. I've shared some stories past about, people in the southeastern part. And there's an example that which other day shared it here. So a group of young people, some 2 girls were kidnapped. They followed the kidnappers, rescued the girls, arrested the kidnappers. That's to tell you that you need to remove politics from the issue of this insecurity. It will explode in your faces, and then you need to remove politics. But the Oyo incident is being politicized to control the Southwest. Yes. Even with some loud mouths from the Southwest, they're accusing the Oyo State governor of knowing, being responsible, and all that, creating unnecessary distractions. Let's hear Sunday Igboho give his ultimatum. Let's hear him. It's not me. Maybe you've not seen that video. If you've seen it before, well, don't worry. You will see it again. There are those who have not seen it. Let's hear Sunday Igboho.
Ẹni tó bá gbé owó fún yín tẹ̀jí gbé ẹ̀tún pa olóyìn ègé ọwọ́ nígbòho ẹrù mi ò tiẹ̀ bà yín kúkú lájà mi kí ò tiẹ̀ gẹ́rù bà yín nílùú bàbá mi eléyìí gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ last and the head ẹ pè àwọn iṣẹ́ ara àwọn bàbá yín rè ẹ pèrè àyíjọ ọlá pé àwọn bàbá mi sọ fún mi pé kí n fi sùúrù bá yín ṣe náà ẹ tí ọba gbọ́ Yorùbá ẹ tún fún àwọn bàbá mi sọ pé kí n fi sùúrù èmi ni mo ń jẹ́ Sunday Igboho èmi nìkan mo ń jẹ́ Igboho èmi ò dẹ̀ wà fẹ́ni kankan mo wà fún gbogbo ọmọ Igboho nílé lóko lẹ́yìn òdì ni nǹkan tí mo ń ṣe lò ń lù tí mo ń gbà fún àwọn aráàlú kan ẹ lè mọ ṣe lù mí kọsẹ́ mọ́ bíire kọsẹ́ tó lè gbé lójú ẹkùn láíláí láìsáwó àwọn ìlú mi náà lè mú mi lọ fún ẹ̀tọ́ ẹ̀ gbogbo ẹni mo ti sọ àwọn àlù bàbá yín wá bá yín jà ẹ jíyàn gbé toyúntoyún ẹni tó wá gbówó fún yín owó tẹ́lẹ̀ fẹ́ gbà ẹ pa ẹ tún wá pa olóyún yẹn ẹ wá fẹ́ nìkan lẹ̀ ẹ lè bẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run àwọn ọmọ inú rẹ̀ sẹ́yìn lọ́kùn fúlàní àwọn tó ń ṣe ẹ sẹ́yìn gẹ́lẹ́ mọ̀ wọ́n kẹ́ sọ fún pàbúrò rẹ̀ kan kábíyèsí rẹ̀ sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ nígbà tẹ́ bá wọn sọ́tọ̀ ẹni yẹn ọmọ yẹn òun lágídí pé n tẹ́ ṣe yìí kò dáa ẹni mo jáwọn yẹn wá gbé bí wọ́n pa àwọn yẹn tó kọjá yẹn sí ẹ ọjà rẹ̀ tó abẹ́ẹ̀kọ́ àbí níjọ́ tí wọ́n ti dín ẹ̀gbẹ́ tó ń gbó lọ́wọ́ tó ń gbé fúlàní bíbà yóò bá lọ gbé ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀kọ́ níbẹ̀ nínú bàbá mi àwọn bàbá mi náà jókòó wọ̀nyí ohun tí mo fẹ́ sọ fún yín ni pé kí lè jẹ́ òpin àti bẹ̀rẹ̀ àti parí People must say about dodo sọ or àwọn ọmọ yìí ẹ bá wọn tuntun lọ ẹ bá fẹ́ lọ́wọ́ pé mi tàbí wọ́n pè ní dípò òun yẹn kọ́ kò sí mi. Ọlọ́run kò bá yẹn lọ́wọ́ pẹ̀lẹ́ sẹ́sì pé náà títí bàbá ròyìn dáadáa ọlọ́pàá ròyìn dáadáa fún nǹkan pèsè bẹ̀rẹ̀ àwọn mo láìpẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo fẹ́ kọ́ sọ fáwọn tí ọba gbélé mi nínú àwọn yẹn mo fún wọn ní wákàtí méjì ni o obìnrin yẹn àtọmú ẹ àtàbúrò ẹ tó lọ kámọ́lé lórí tó gbé yẹn mo fún wákàtí méjì kan lọ gbé wọn wá tí a bá rí wọn láàrin wákàtí méjì tí wọn bá kọ̀ lóra wọn èmi ọ̀dọ́ wọn bí wọ́n bá gbé wọn lọ ẹ̀rọ wọn náà wákàtí méjì mọ̀ ń gbẹ́nu gbogbo ọmọ ògbó sọ̀rọ̀ àti àwọn bàbá wa tọ́jọ́ bá wa ni mo fi sọ̀rọ̀ wákàtí méjì mo fún yín ṣé mo pé ẹjọ́ tí wọ́n ti ń ṣe ìwágbò omi ń dá sí mo kàn ń wò pé àwọn bàbá mi ò tí sọ pé abẹ́rẹ́ ń gún àwọn lára bọ̀ náà wọ́n ti sọ fún mi pé ó ti tó gẹ́.
Well, welcome back. We needed to let you see a little bit of that whole, video. That's a non-state actor, a private citizen, issuing ultimatum. That I have not seen any ultimatum on the part of any state actor, from the president to the security chiefs, concerning the issue of ultimatum. The president had not been seen issuing ultimatum to the military chief, to the service chief, to say, look, if you guys don't bring this to us, and let the peoples of Nigeria see you that you are taking a position. No. So the Sunday Igboho situation is a catch-22 kind of thing. Some people see it as, oh, wonderful, he's doing something. No, he's not doing anything. He has not done anything that the state is not in a position. When I say the state, I'm talking about the federal government. In case you don't know, in Nigeria, state governors, they are supposed to be the chief security officers of their state. The state governors have no power over the security agencies in the state. They don't. They all report to the center, to the presidency. I've narrated in the course of this programming over some episodes ago how I've witnessed a sitting governor of a state being tear-gassed by mobile police because somebody in Abuja is in charge. They are not of the same party. Ordered the police to tear gas a state governor that was just moving around to see how the election was going in his state. So let's be very careful about what you are accusing the governor of your state of doing or not doing. Is institutional weakening that has been ongoing for a while, because you would wonder why the Nigerian army, the Nigerian military, would have senior officers killed in active service, die in captivity, and no statements. Anarchy. In the past 2 days, there are reports on social media about some military personnel in the northeast of Nigeria objecting to introduction of some of the so-called repentant terrorists into as to become their colleagues. How can you, people you know, some of them, they might even be the ones who arrested them, who got them. So it is wrong now that they applied, the rules of engagement of the military and followed the law, and the law now looked at them in the face and, spat on their faces to say nonsense. Keep dying from the same hands. So what is that? There's something called mutiny in the army, in military, right? How do mutinies happen? When subordinates find the instructions they are being given as inhumane, as not sustainable, they'll riot, they rebel. That's mutiny. Are you waiting for that to happen? You will shoot how many? You will court-martial how many? How much is anyone carrying anywhere if this whole thing is about money? And talking about money, the anarchy trajectory, unfortunately, is loading up on many fronts. And it's outside of the insecurity issues. It's in the political environment that it is I think some people just think that, oh no, this is as usual, it would happen. This is how it normally happens, nothing will happen. I don't think so this time. Sincerely, I don't think so this time. I've looked at the faces of some young people, some contents online, some groups online, and even though some of those pictures, some of those contents are not things that people sat down and created. They are pictures of activities, of events in real time, terrestrially. So it's dangerous for somebody to still be assuming that it is some 4 people tweeting on Twitter, for some 4 people inside one room. No. They have transitioned outside of Twitter or X. Yeah? They've woken up. Unfortunately, some of them have woken up from the wrong sides of the bed, on the wrong sides of history of the society. Caused by who? You guys. Because the next video I'm going to show you now is so tragic in many ways. In many ways, very tragic. For context. So you understand. I am a proud Nigerian. And a proud citizen of the country that I call home still, Canada. But I've said it severally, historically, across the world. People migrate for so many reasons. I don't want to go back into the reasons why I'm here or not. Well, first of all, the reason is see this book still Nigeria. It's still those guys, the politicians, them. It's still them. That's why I'm here. But then let's put that aside. Whatever reasons for which people migrate to other countries, find home there, become citizens, dual citizens for countries that allow for dual citizenship. I've never heard, you go to the US, you hear of Italian Americans. In virtually every country of the world, especially this part of the world, the Jewish community is one of the, if not the most cohesive, most powerful They don't deny their origin. They get involved in the things that happen in their countries of origin positively. Nigerians in diaspora are being made to look like it's not your business. Shut up there. What do you know? Unfortunately, both the government and the people who also benefit indirectly from their remittances to Nigeria don't send your remittances, don't support anybody, don't support any business. No. Okay? Before, about 2 years ago, or less than 2 years ago, you could remit dollar directly to Nigerians who don't have domiciliary account in Nigeria. And they'll go to the bank and they pay them dollar and they go to the parallel market and that difference, who gets it now? The government. So don't say they've changed, they've stopped it, and who is benefiting from it? It's the government and wait for it, the multinationals, the businesses. What is the business of my aunt in the village with macroeconomics? No, doesn't understand anything about macroeconomics. No. So when you are quoting that the economy is getting better, which is why where Mr. Onanuga will be looking at to say that hunger is a rumor, poverty is a rumor, where somebody will say, go and roast corn, go and roast, from which farm? Has Mrs. Tinubu been to a farm where they farm corn before? Does she know how they make kulikuli? You don't insult people in spite of the terrible governance and policies they put in place. You don't also now add the salt to the injury. No. So, how was I? For context, to the next video I'm going to show you, I started by saying, yes, I'm a Nigerian, yes, I'm Canadian, yes, fine. I am very proud of my heritage. I'm an Ekiti man with a proud Igbo heritage from my mother. But let's talk about Ekiti. Let's leave the Igbo people for now here. Let's talk about Ekiti. I've shared in an episode, more than one episode on this program. So if you have heard this before, sorry, well, some people have not heard it, but we need to have an understanding that some things that didn't just start. But because they have been allowed to fester, they become normalized. People have become emboldened because, again, there has been no accountability. That needs to change. And the time for those things to change is now, not later. Now, the Ekiti gubernatorial election that happened just last weekend, 28th of June, 2026, brings those talking points to life now. But for context, I still go back so that you understand. Vote buying, it didn't start, it's not new. But because it's not new, it's not the reason why it should continue. It's continued because there has been no accountability. But now there are receipts for accountability to take place. I will show you the next video, the next two videos. Then I will tell you personal stories, from that same Ekiti. Around those two is the major issue areas that talking points from those two videos I'm going to show you back to back. Okay, one is a video of a young lady unabashed, unashamed, unconcerned, unperturbed, flaunting 15,000 naira that they gave her for voting. That girl is probably not 20 years old. That is what the system has done, is doing to the peoples of Nigeria, including the young people. That's one of the tragedies of that video. That's a young person who still doesn't, both the parents and the people around her, or whatever information that's been available to her, she has still not gotten to know that it's like you're hungry, and what you believe you should do is to cut off one arm and boil and eat. Tomorrow, you're hungry, you cut off the second arm. You know, by the third time you're hungry, there'll be no arm to cut with. Eat. Yeah. God take us that myself. So let's show that young woman. After her, let's show some. I would also show another person from that same state, from that same election. Before we come to talk about the whole issues of hunger management, poverty management, development, from that same Ekiti, because I know about Ekiti. I am Ekiti. Okay. So let's see the young woman who has not been brought up properly and who no one is holding accountable or is thinking of holding, but who must be held accountable. Follow that money. Somebody gave her that money. Somebody gave the person who gave her that money the money. That other person got it for somebody. Follow that money. Civil society groups, youth groups, community. This is the time to demand accountability, not later. Please, caveat here. I have no issues. The person who got, so that nobody is putting any, pins on what is being said, or it must be because of this. Not, if you know me, you know. No, it's about what is right. It's about principles. If anybody is going to win anything, let that person work for it, win, and let everybody see. I've been reading so many comments from both the two videos we're going to show you now. Someone saying she's saying that is because it's not her candidate that won. That shouldn't be the issue. Yeah. I've also read some things over some comments I've made online, one or two places. You are saying this because you know this, but no. If you know me, if you follow this, you will know that we speak to issues. We keep saying it. If you cannot call your friends out, if you cannot call your family members out, if you cannot call your colleagues out when things have not happened the way they should happen, then they're not your friends to start with. Then you don't even like yourself too. So let's watch this young woman, and then watch the other woman to her own response to this. Both of them, one showed you, this is what I got. The other one reported what she saw. And with a lot of other talking points from that her report. So let's watch two of them, okay?
APC for life, APC for life. 15 pa, 1 vote. 15 pa, say they want me. APC for what? For life.
My name is Adenike Favor. Hi, a graduate. I thank God for making today a reality. That is what we have been hoping for. But today election is giving me a problem. My heart is beating because of what people are doing at the polling booth. I'm from Ekiti, Ilapeti Jawa, 8001 polling booth. What people are doing is not good enough. People carried money because they want to buy their votes. But I told them I cannot sell my votes, but I want to vote for my conscience, because your conscience will linger forever. The person that you didn't vote for and you went ahead to the other party, you collect money. Such a person is deceiving him or herself. But at this rate of our polling booth, I don't know for other, but what I'm witnessing today is not comfort in our polling booth here. And all these observers they brought for us it's like they are not fair enough for this election. Yes, I can say it can go like they are not fair enough because most of them they are one side party, and which it shouldn't be. We are one Nigeria. We're good. We call ourselves a good citizen. We should not be partial in voting for the person that we want to vote for. Showing ballot paper to the other people so that people will go there and collect money. They're giving them 15,000 naira. But can 50,000 feed a family for the whole 4 years? Which is not. It's uncalled for. But I'm calling on our government to look to it. It is not good. During the election, they should not bring money. They should not bring bags of money to the polling youths to buy the hearts of the voters. Because my vote is my right. I voted for my conscience, and I pray my aspirants, in which I believe he will win the election by God's grace. Thank you so much. Bye.
Well, welcome back from watching those two videos. First, I just want to give a loud shout out to that last lady in that last video. And I want to put it on record here that anybody that knows her, okay? Guys, if you could just, so that they don't go to search for it, just put my contact, email contact detail, you know, and on the screen, okay? Just put it on the screen, like my email contact address. If anybody knows that lady, if you can contact us, we will tell her story, we will publish her story at no cost to her and put that book out there, because we want to talk. We are here to encourage people to tell their story. Remember, this program is about you saying a prayer, Nigeria not happening to you. That's one side. And then also saying how Nigeria happened to you. This lady falls now squarely in the middle of those two, if you like, happenstances happening to you and happening for you. Because I've read so many content online talking about how Nigerians and people have responded to her standing up to say, no, I'm not going to sell my vote, and then donated things to her. My own donation is going to be to publish her story for her, from which she could make extra stream of income. Of course, we'll sell it on her behalf. Yes, we'll do that. So if you know her, kindly just let her send us email, just an email, you know, to give her details. We'll take it from there. Okay. Now, going back, please, guys, I said put up email address, my email address, okay, you know, social media email address to on the screen, so that she can get into contact with us, in touch with us, and anybody else, anybody that knows her that could do that, will speak with her. Okay. Now, I said I was going to share some personal stories that relate to both incidents, both taking the bribe or not taking the bribe, speaking out or not speaking out. Okay. In this case, taking action or not taking action. Now, just a moment. Okay. All right. You could, okay, yeah, you could see the email address as it scrolls across your screen. Okay, as I'm speaking, it remains there. You can find the email address scrolling there, so you could send it to her if you know her, if you can get in touch with her. We would like to tell her story, publish her story as a book. Okay, to encourage others. And by the way, well, there are things that we've kept in the back burner, in the oven, without heating up the oven, to say just be there for the time being. We had planned to have a challenge, you know, say a prayer, Nigeria never happened to you challenge. You know, you tell your story. Yes, we have a prize money of $1,000 for the it's been on now in that back burner for a while. But with this now, I'm going to have to fast track it for that challenge to come live, maybe in the next 2 months or so that we can have more stories like this told, and people can know that speaking out is not a bad thing. Okay, it's not a bad thing. She's saying it that it's not a bad thing. She stood her ground, her principles, but people have also appreciated her, are still appreciating her for standing up. And then we also want to join in that group of people who are appreciating her standing up. Now, for the first video, I've not read anywhere that any civil society group or any organization, government or non-governmental, has called for that young woman to be invited for questioning and prosecuted. I'm sure there are some things in the Electoral Act that makes bribery or vote buying a crime or an offense. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm sure it's there. But I also do know that bribery and corruption, what's the 419 decree for? What are people like the EFCC there for? The DSS that's going to harass people all over the place for speaking out. This person has spoken out loud with receipts. What have you done? What are you doing? Individuals, because this is why it concerns you now. It concerns you. Now, on the part of the politicians, you know what you're doing? The young people who have taken these monies, this bribe, this call it vote buying to make it sound like, no, it's not. Vote buying itself is an offense, if not a crime. Bribery is a crime. Internationally, not just in Nigeria. So, that young woman deserves to be apprehended and prosecuted. You don't need any more evidence. And then when you follow that up, you get to know who gave her the money. There are other videos. How many do we want to show? The other videos. An individual was distributing personal voters card. I think that's what it is, PVC. People were seated in rows in a space, in a room, I think under a canopy or somewhere. An individual, obviously a party agent, was distributing PVCs to them. Where did that party agent get those PVCs from? That video is online. Who has? It's not enough to say that our malpractices, the election was rigged. No, it's not enough. It's not enough anymore to just say you want to observe. What did you go to observe? You election observer. After you observe, what happened? It's not enough to make videos and laugh and banter online. No, it's no longer enough. Those individuals need to be apprehended, questioned, and prosecuted. Yes, in accordance with the law, the electoral law, and the general criminal laws or whatever, statutes of Nigeria. All of those things are offenses, crimes. Who gave that individual those voters' cards? When you arrest him, he will say who. That one too will say who instructed him. And that way, you are getting somewhere. Is it this whole throwing things on the wall and seeing which one will stick? No. You do not wait for 2027. Huh? No. You don't wait. This has shown you the pattern. At the beginning of the tone setting video that we showed you, that incongruous counting that happened during their primaries, 142, people made all sorts of videos, made all sorts of caricatures, laughed and all. No, those individuals, how many of them were invited by security agencies for questioning? Nobody did. But are there laws that prohibit such from happening? There are. So who has taken such up? If you do not make example of people, if you do not hold, it's not enough to say hold politicians accountable. Start from holding yourself accountable. Stop, let that accountability start from where you are at, from what you see, from what you do about what you see, from what you do with yourself. Like that lady who says, no, I won't. And she said something else which is instructive. He said all these observers that are coming, he said they are not good enough. They're not. That's how much she could express her disgust. They are just on one side. That's how much she could express her outrage. You have civil society groups that are registered and wait only for election time. They get grants. They say they wear T-shirts and whatever. The election monitoring or observers. What are you observing? After that, what? Unfortunately, they won't observe. They observe, like that lady said, they're only on one side, meaning they are compromised already. So who in that whole lot is not compromised? Should not be compromised. Who? You. You, the electorate, you, the individual. That's what that lady showed you. And I will tell you some personal stories to let you know that this is not mouth. Should not be mouth, meaning you should not just stop at discussing this. Should not end at banters. I've shared it on this program more than once. In 2011, during the presidential elections in Nigeria, I think the very first set was the National Assembly, elections and all of that. I narrated and I'm narrating now. I normally would travel to my hometown in Ekiti, in the fellow doing report on the local government of Ekiti State, southwest Nigeria, to vote. But by that time, actually, I had retired, like I shared. I said I would retire at age 50, and I did that. 2010, December, I relocated to Ekiti. By 2011, I was setting up the Chainville Training and Conference Center, which is where I located all of my operations then. And I went from Ado Ekiti, where that facility was, to vote in my hometown of Ekiti, which is just about 10 minutes drive, less than 10 minutes drive, depending on the kind of driver you are, from Ado Ekiti to my hometown. So next time, depending on what direction you are traveling from Ado Ekiti. COSAT, they did what they call accreditation, check you're supposed to vote in this place, yes. The polling unit was in my father's veranda. Yeah, that's where the coppers came in, the youth corps members, the polling, the INEC officials were youth corps. I think they still are youth corps. So we all went to sit to wait after accreditation for voting to commence. And then an individual, because I'm saying this to all of you who say you see things you can't talk, you have to talk. It's not enough to, now it's even better now. This was 2011. That's like, what? How many years ago? 14 years ago? The kind of mobile service equipment or devices and platforms and applications you have now are better now than what you had then. So getting online, publishing things online is faster, easier now for you to do. Then the incident I'm sharing now was not recorded by anybody. If it's now, there will be so many. So you can do that immediately, flood the internet with it. An individual walked up as well sat and were waiting for voting to come, and walked up to the INEC officials and was now instructing them, bring out this book. We checked it, say, no, you must make sure that all these names here must be, all of them must vote. How can you say everybody there must vote? First of all, if they are checking any polling unit and everybody that place is said to have voted, then that's a red flag. That's the first sign that something is wrong. It's rigged, because for one reason or the other, one or two persons will not be available to vote. Some people might generally just decide not to vote. Some people might have traveled. Some people not even have come home at all, or even go. Yeah, in some cases, people have died. So to say you people must make sure that you put everybody voted. No, that's wrong. I was listening. I was still watching, like, what's he saying? And he continued, and I walked up to him. I couldn't take it. I walked up to him. So you can walk up to these people. Look, we talk, we'll die. We don't talk, we'll die. So which one is better? You talk and die, doesn't, come on. I walked up to the individual. Excuse me, sir. Are you an ANEC official? He said no. Are you a security agent attached to this? He said no. Are you a party agent? He said no. I said, please leave here. So what do I mean? Leave where? I said, sir, leave here. What you are telling these people to do could result in my vote. I don't want anything to cancel my vote. It wasn't, and I didn't know who he was. I didn't care about who he was. I wasn't any way. Wasn't wearing my name on my head or anything. So I'm a voter. I was a voter. I vote in that polling unit, and nobody was going to cause my vote to be voided. And initially, this is what do I mean? We can't leave. I said, sir, even the youth come member will say, sir, leave him, it doesn't concern. Excuse me, it doesn't concern who? It concerns me. I'm a voter here. This person cannot cause my vote to be. I persisted. He had to leave and call for reinforcement. Now, let me share again here for you to know that it's not as if people don't know that something is wrong or that not seeing that things are wrong. As he was walking away, all the people who were just watching, who were waiting to go, started clapping. And I looked at all of them and I shook my head. So you all knew something was wrong? What stopped you from speaking out? This was one person. How many of you could he beat, even if it comes to beating you? How many? It's the same thing with this whole issue of insecurity and all. The communities that organize, they don't want them to organize. They want them to keep quiet so that people can. Yeah, that's why Namdekan is there. Speaking out, you can't come here and kill us. We'll defend ourselves. No, you must not defend yourself. Lie down so that I can overrun you. No, the same thing through the ballots, through the voting cycles, the seasons. You see them doing untoward things, you keep quiet so that what doesn't happen. You have to take action this time. I did 14 years ago. Moments later, the individual came back with a truckload filled with mobile police people. But before he came back, the head of my ruling house then came to meet me where I was seated and said, Doctor, please, you need to leave here. You know, you will see things happening here and know you will not be happy about. Why don't you just go inside and sit down? Remember, I said the polling unit was in my father's veranda. Go inside and sit down. When it's your time to vote, you come and vote. And I saw them and said, listen, sir, what that thing that should happen that I see that it better not happen. But out of respect for him, I stood up and I went to go sit inside. Moments later, that individual who had to go, we came with a truckload of anti-riot police. Where is that person? Where is that person? Who was disturbing people here? All of them kept quiet. I was sitting there watching everything that was going on. Because my original intention was not I was confronting anybody. It was, well, just know this is not right. It can't happen here. So I wasn't out of fear that I did not say this is me. No, I was watching the drama. The policeman that was attached to that polling unit was there. He saw me. He didn't say that's him. None of the other voters say that's him. Not even the electoral officials, the INEC officials, nobody did. Why? Because they knew what he was doing was wrong, but nobody called him out. The anti-riot police people that he had gone to bring beat up the regular policeman that was there. Why is this person beat a fellow law officer up? Why is this person? The guy didn't answer them. Fortunately, on their walkie-talkie, people were calling for help from another polling unit. They had to rush off into their vehicles and went off. That incident went. Now, the following Saturday, which was now the presidential election, President Goodluck Jonathan's substantive election to become president, he was just there replacing the previous president that passed away, President Umar Yar'Adua. I narrated how the former governor of the state, Otunbani Adebayo, is from my quarter in the town. My polling unit is not far from mine. And I saw him. This book had just been released by that time. This book was released in January of that year, 2011. I narrated some incidents about my working with his wife, then the questions, some things that his wife asked me about Ekiti, why some things are the way they're in Ekiti, and the responses I gave. So I felt I've not seen her until that time, 2011. The last time I saw her was about 2002, 2003, can't remember, was the last time. Before the election that removed her husband from office, yes. So I wanted her to have this book. So I took copies, autographed, and went to give to her husband, the former governor, to give to the wife. And they had reported what happened the previous Saturday to them. It wouldn't be only him. When I approached him, I was like, doctor, they say you were disturbing last week during the election. It's not like, so you heard I was disturbing. I said, no, see, elections are not like that. It's not all those your ideas. Uibo idea is foreign. It's not for here. I'm like, excuse me? Having things done properly is not for here. That was a former governor, a respectable individual in the society who should be a role model, who should have called that individual that was asking electoral officials to follow the proper procedures and not even get there. Just even if you are attacked by anybody, you just looking at everybody, no, there's no problem, you move on. No, not to become he didn't. And I smiled. I said, sir, what was that right? He said, no, it's not like this. You don't, that's not here. That's the idea. That's not how elections are done. So how elections are done there. Because there's been no accountability, that's what gave back to this young girl that's flaunting 15,000. But thank God for this second woman. But it didn't end there, no. After giving him those autographed copies of book for himself and then for his wife, I went to go sit again after accreditation. And I sat away from the crowd this time, not close to, so I just don't. And I was watching to wait to vote. Where I sat, I'm going to use an inappropriate term now, then I will correct myself too. Where I sat, a cripple, that is the inappropriate word, then I'll correct myself. A physically handicapped person crawled to me on all fours. Hello, sir. Head on, sir. I know you are on our side, because he has assumed that because I said the person who was instructing electoral INEC officials to behave in a particular way, of course, was in support of one party. So he had assumed that my reason for doing what I did was because I was sympathetic to another party. No way. It wasn't because of any party. The person who was the governor was my friend. I had somebody close that was close to me in that cabinet at that time. So it wasn't about. So if for any, but I told them the two. I told him that day. I said, look, whether you came here to instruct for any rigging or no rigging, everybody that knows me knows who we support. For reasons, not because you bribed anybody. The bribery should happen before the election. The bribery should happen with you doing things that answer to people's needs, to the benefit and good of everybody, not party, not family, no. Good governance. So you don't have to bribe anybody during election or before election. No. The cripple, the physically handicapped person, had a side bag, opened it, and brought out a 500 naira note and said, sir, this is your own share. First of all, of course, it's a different thing for you to hear about things, then it's a different thing for you to see it happen. I've been hearing about vote buying, about how much they're giving people to vote. I never seen it, but that day, I laughed. I'm like, first, sir, I don't need this money. Second, should you be doing this? Not shouting, not angry, he was there, crouched in an upright position on his knees because, well, he could stand up. That was some standing. And I took him through how what he was doing was not to his own benefit, I mean, his own individual benefit in the first place. Not to talk of the general population. And he said he was sorry, that he never understood it that way before. That young man, yes, it's a disabled, it's a younger person than myself, that young man crawled away from the polling area towards his home. Whether he went home directly, I don't know. Whether he continued in that. But I'm just told this story to show you that this is not a new one, to also show you that you can do something. Don't say you cannot do anything. And for the general population, even for those of you who all you've done is also see these videos like I've seen it, I'm not in Nigeria, so if I were, I can assure you that I will mobilize for those people to be invited, to be arrested, to be prosecuted. So you are on ground, you can do it. It needs to be done to set example. I don't wish the young lady any evil. No, but some people must be used to show example. If you are saying arrested or captured bandits, terrorists should not be reintegrated. These are captured, they are arrested on video. They should not remain. You should know that there's a consequence. And if you use one person, so young people tomorrow, old people tomorrow will know that there's a consequence for taking that bribe. You need to do something to stop it. Wishing that it will stop will never stop it. Those people who are counting 1, 10, 100, 1 million, get some of them. It's not late. It is not late. Arrest them. Prosecute them. Let there be a heavy media hype about those cases in court to stand as an example. Now, not tomorrow. Don't wait till the Ekiti election have shown you it's giving you some meat, some weapons with which to get to do. It has nothing to do with who they declared winner, who, by the way, even going by the reason of, even going to that aspect of who they declared winner or who declared winner. As an Ekiti person, for instance, I should be thrilled that for the first time, okay, an incumbent governor got reelected. But I'm also concerned about how did this person get reelected? By his administration funding a program through which bread was being thrown at Ekiti people on the streets? No. Let's remain with the 15,000 naira per vote. Abi? Is that not what you saw in the video? Both videos. Both ladies mentioned 15,000 naira. Let's even assume that let's bring it to 5,000 per vote before people went to vote. The final results say about 309, over 300, almost 320,000 votes. Multiply 320,000, 319 something by 5,000. That's about 1.5 billion naira. Just for vote buying. Before the vote buying, the people who shared the money, they gave them money. The people who gave the money to the people who shared the money, those ones got like that. The media, yes, in a state that some citizens of that state are still being detained, they're still in captivity for over, going on 2 months, or if not over 2 months now. Their abductors are demanding 15 million naira. I'm not saying negotiate with bandits or kidnappers, pay them, no, but I'm just putting figures on the table. In a state where the wife of the president had gone to campaign, while those people are still, they spent money. They would have spent over that 50 million to host the first lady. So what's the cost of that re-election? What's the real cost to the people of Ekiti? What's the real cost? What's the real cost when the president's spokesperson saying hunger is a home? What's the real cost when the wife of the president had just visited you? Some news outlets say it's poverty that's induced vote buying in Ekiti. You know, so poverty has been there since. And that poverty has been there since, and there's something can be done about poverty structurally. I stood in the front line to say, yes, this can be done about poverty in Ekiti. That could be replicated in other states. I founded the Ekiti Food Bank. People thought, oh no, Ekiti people are too proud. They are not going to come and take this food. It was all wrong. They saw that there was hunger. But because it was a structured program, it wasn't political. One of the things I told my friend, the governor, the wife, then was, please, I'm just courtesy. I want to run this project. You are the governor here. How could I run this kind of program and you don't know about it? I went, told the wife, and they said, oh, we can help, we can support. They supported by buying some of the food stuff that we had proper documentation about who got the, because we are focused, structured. 3 categories of recipients. Because you have to be structured, you have to be programmed. Orphans and vulnerable children, young widows, and elderly people 65 years and above. Yes. Oh, thank you. The person you are seeing, that picture you are seeing on that one with the old lady and the former governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kade, that was the very first person that got fed in quotes. She was eating before then, okay, got, provisions from the Ekiti Food Bank. It wasn't about an election. When the election time period, please get this, when it got to the time of my friend to be reelected, and they made it a political, I called him again. Okay, this wasn't what we discussed. The Ekiti Food Bank cannot be political. They had branded campaign vehicles, campaign billboards putting pictures of the Ekiti Food Bank and things. And I said, no, no, no. You're my friend. I said, I will support your government by whichever I have. People are hungry. We are doing something about it. You're supporting. But it's not for campaign. No. And he respected my position. And they had to rebrand. Yeah, that's it. Stand. It's not out of malice, out of principle, for the good of all. So I'm not telling you things I don't know anything about. I'm not against the person of the present governor of Ekiti State. I don't know him personally. I know him from afar. I don't know him personally. But if anybody, if of all the people who have ruled Ekiti State, if anybody should put good governance on the table, it should be him. Not budgeting 60,000 or million naira for primary health care. And you are spending how much in vote buying during election. Why am I saying it should be him? Before him, the politicians and the confused Ekiti people that, you know, the only persons who could answer their cry must be people who are homegrown, meaning people who are resident in Ekiti, that everybody who have been coming to rule them have been people who have come from abroad, who are from diaspora, whether diaspora within Nigeria or diaspora from within outside Nigeria or diaspora within Nigeria, but outside Ekiti. From Adebayo to Fayoshe to Fayemi to Oni, they said they are not homegrown. It must be homegrown. This guy rose to become a permanent secretary in the civil service. But what I've seen, the optics are not good. I watched a video here, somebody sent to me, threatening political appointees that because they are not defending him on social media. Why should anybody defend you on social media if you are not doing the right thing? What is defending Governor Oti of Abia State? What is defending him is his good works. Nobody has to go to social media to go and be, no. And this is not something that somebody else said. You actually stood on a podium, microphone. You're threatening political appointees that they are not defending you. People get into offices that become emperors, become dictators. They're not servants. They're not public servants. So how do you account for spending 5 billion, 10 billion on vote buying related activities? That money could have been spent upfront. You flood that state with commuter buses that take people in this hardship. Fear. Where I live, you don't need to own a car to get anywhere you're going. Public transport is so efficient and pocket friendly. It's not ghosts that put that in place, human beings. That young woman flaunting 15,000 doesn't have that understanding. Didn't have that understanding. She can't have that understanding because that's how you've structured her, you know, conditioned her to be. Live for now. No. So I don't see any magic that's going to happen in Ekiti. There's continuity. Continuity to do what? What's going to happen going forward, from what I know, is that he's going to start now fighting the people who are responsible for getting him to be there, because he will want somebody that will succeed him to be somebody that he is comfortable with, not somebody who is coming to serve the people. No. That's what's going to happen if he has not started already. Succession, not governance. If you could have the mind to throw bread at people. How low? The pictures about the Ekiti Food Bank, they are there. I'm sure in some of your government archives they will be there because we wrote reports, they're there. I still support some of the beneficiaries because I had to close the food bank down instead because the people who succeeded Dr. Fayemi now wanted to turn it into a business. And I said, no, that wouldn't be me. I shut down the Ekiti Food Bank, yes. But is it an idea? Is it a project that can help at times like this? Yes. Why are they not considering it? No, what they want is just to remain in office, not to serve the people, not to help the people. Action. Arrest those individuals, invite them. Security agencies, if the security agencies don't invite them, civil society, organize, go to court. They say go to court. Let it be on record. Let them wangle it one way or the other, but let it be on record that you took action. That young lady, sorry, you put yourself in this position. You need to face the law so that other young people like you, other old people that, that have grown to be the ages that they're in, seen the things that I've seen over time and have still not learned nothing, would learn and know that there's accountability. You give bribe, you are in trouble. You collect, you are in trouble. That's what the law says in Nigeria. So you have to stand on that law and get them arrested and get them prosecuted. We move, okay? Now, if you think that all of this is just me, my brainwaves, I'll play you another video by somebody. I try not to drag him into this program, and I try very hard not to. But when people are being consistent, they're in their principles, and principles are based on things that are for the good of all, I gravitate towards them. That's okay. So I'm going to play you a video by Dele Farotimi, Mr. Dele Farotimi. There are so many videos of so many positions and all. And what is he saying? This is a time to take action, not later. Okay? But hear him. I'm going to play the whole of the video, all of it. Okay? Hear him. And then we'll come back and we'll continue. Well, after him, I think we're going to play you our own in-house video so that we can move quickly or faster on this.
If you think you are too big for politics, MC Oluomo will be your next governor. Mushroom picking will govern your state if you continue to exclude yourselves. So I beg you, those of you who have an estranged relationship with your PVC, go and make up with your PVC. Stop the quarrel. Speak to those in your circle. It doesn't mean that every Nigerian problem will be cured, but at least we can begin the journey to sanity. This coming election is a clash of visions. Is either you want to continue on the old trajectory, keep doing things the way we've been doing it for the last 62 years, or you are interested in traveling in a different direction. That decision is exclusively yours. The Nigerian ruling class is obliged to pretend that we are a democracy every 4 years. So this time around, we have to play the game of pretense again. We are a democracy. So because they say we are a democracy, you have to remember your PVC. When you have your PVC, you have to ignore the lies they will tell you about ethnicity, about religion, all the things that they have used to divide you, whilst they themselves have not been divided. You must of necessity remember each and every one of those things when it is time to take the decision. There are only two ways to change a country, especially this is our own country. We are faced with two choices. Is either the gun or is your PVC. You are going to have to decide which one is going to be. But our current trajectories are unsustainable, and Nigeria will eventually collapse if we kept traveling on the path that we are locked into. So we have a choice. Because of these young ones that I saw earlier on coming to minister to us, because of these little ladies out with the mom, because of some of us who have children, a lot of us here, we close our eyes and we envision a better future for Nigeria than what we have. But it's not going to happen because we sat still in one corner and we believe that it's none of our business and we became disengaged from the process. 2019, 27-point-something million voted out of a voting population of, I believe, 81 million. That meant that only a third voted in that election. When such low numbers participate in the process, it becomes easy to manipulate. It also becomes easy to buy votes. It also becomes easy. I'm told that in this particular neighborhood in 2019, people were prevented from voting. That was because people were not particularly engaged. If sufficient numbers of you were engaged in the process, they will be too scared to come. How many talks do they have? We are more than them. But we can only discover our numbers when we stand, thank you, when we stand our watch. I will stand my watch. That is an active decision. It's not passive. There is nothing passive about watching. They say, sit down, look. Sit down, look is not passive. You have to decide to stay awake to look. So this one that we have been doing since all these years, where we have made victims of ourselves by our refusal to engage with the system, it has to stop. Already in several parts of Nigeria, life is nasty, short, and brutish. I would like to close by bringing something to us, and I thank the survivors who have come up here to share their experiences. I wasn't part of NSAS. When I saw it, about 2 days ago, on the anniversary, Facebook reminded me. I asked them 2 years ago, I said, "The lazy youth, are you planning a revolution or what? Because this doesn't look like a protest anymore." If we didn't plan a revolution in 2020 and people were murdered senselessly and their humanities are being denied because the state continues to deny what its own panel of inquiry has unanimously agreed happened. Let us be clear, the Lekki panel was exclusively peopled by persons nominated directly by the Lagos state government. I believe there are a total of 7 of them, and out of those 7, about 3 came directly from the Ministry of Justice. 2 of them have become judges after the panel sitting. It was a unanimous decision. It was clear and unambiguous in finding that there was a massacre. So every time you open your mouth, whether you are here or you are online or you see this later on, and you deny that there was a murder on the evening, or rather a massacre on the, I believe it started at 6:43 p.m. on 2020. As Ayo has already pointed out, it was happening in several other parts of Lagos before that time. But killing has become a way of life in our country, and human life has ceased to matter to our government. But if it matters to us as individuals, it is time that we took our own lives in our hands. Understand clearly that if Nigeria is going to change, if anything will change for the better, it would be because you decided that it is time to change this country. The ruiners of Nigeria will not change it. They prosper by our pains. So it is up to us. I beg you, I don't want to, I have, you're already telling me time up, but I need to exit with a plea to all of you. If you think you are too big for politics, MC Oluomo will be your next governor. Mushroom picking will govern your state if you continue to exclude yourselves. So I beg you, those of you who have an estranged relationship with your PVC, go and make up with your PVC. Stop the quarrel. Speak to those in your circle. It doesn't mean that every Nigerian problem will be cured, but at least we can begin the journey to sanity. God bless you all.
Welcome back. I'm not going to repeat all that Mr. Farutimi said there. But most importantly, it's in your hands as electorate. It's in your hands. Go collect your PVCs. It's in your hands. Go out and vote. They don't want you to go out and vote. When they're rejoicing in Ekiti, 300 and what number of votes, there was another election, a by-election in Ekiti State. I think for a House of Assembly, a House of our National Assembly seat. In that environment, there were over 109 registered voters. You know the number of people that went out to vote? Just about 4,000 from 109. Of course, somebody won. Then wait for the big one. What was now the reaction? Even the party that won, the reaction, they soon knew that something was wrong. They started sacking people, suspending people. Because you didn't do this, that's why voters didn't come out. Now, at the national, all of these things are red flags for people to notice and take actions now. It's on record. There's a video that the president of Nigeria said, if you like, let them not vote. Even if it's 3 people that vote, I will win. So they are counting on voter apathy for you not to come out to vote. Yes, they are counting on it. It's a strategy. Okay? So what did Mr. Farutimi say? Go get your PVC. Know that it's up to you. Vote. Then defend your vote. Defending your vote starts from now. Starts from what they have shown you in the Ekiti election. Call those people that are flaunting that 15 pine the wine. Yes. Look for her. Arrest her. Let her show you who gave her that money. Let the person who gave her that money show who gave him or her the money to share. That follow the money. You get to the last source. Let it be seen that people are held accountable. Let it be clear that people will be held accountable should such continue. You need to do that now, not after the election, not after 20. No, don't wait. That time, the anarchy, the shots. So please, this is the time. This is the time. There's another video and news reports from that video of a convoy of armed people, a motorbike convoy in one of the, I think it's a northeastern state. And it was rumored, alleged, a convoy of terrorists riding past police checkpoint, and the police were fraternizing with. The police came out and said, no, it's not true. It's vigilantes. I go back to the same question I asked 2 episodes ago. As I shared how Landlord Resident Association officials visited a property we had acquired in 1995 to declare that you come into that environment, you have to own firearms. And I shared the kind of firearms you paid for, they got license for, is double-barrel gun. That is firearm that is legitimate, is legal for people. When you apply and you get the license that will give for you is for that. So how did vigilantes get anti-aircraft guns? How did vigilantes get military-grade weapons? Another set of content online alleging that no, they are not vigilantes after the police, refutal of the initial claim that they were bandits, that say, no, they are not bandits, they are vigilantes, okay? Remember, how did they get military-grade weapon? That's number one. And another set of alleged contents appeared alleging that no, they are bandits going for peace talk. Peace talk. Peace talk, bandits going for peace talk with military-grade weapons. Police said no, they are. If we stay with the police that they are vigilantes, the police need to come out and state how vigilantes got those types and number of military-grade weapons, and why the same is not available in other regions of Nigeria for people to defend themselves. Why you will not go to some people and then all you are doing is harass them, or when all they are doing is defend themselves and say, no, you can't come here and kill us, they are terrorists. But see how the narrative is changing from people that in plain sight recorded in the public domain. Meanwhile, these other ones, you're using binoculars and microscope to go and look for where you say they are manufacturing homemade weapons. But these ones are carrying sophisticated, imported, foreign-made weapons. And they are vigilantes, right? We'll play you an in-house video. And when we come back, you will hear what one of their major defenders has had to say now. Major defenders of the bandits, terrorists, still on their case, and he's still walking about free and still be able to make such comments, record such videos, and even the mainstream media are debating it. Meanwhile, Nnamdi Kanu is in prison for saying, do referendum. Let people decide how they want to relate. Let us defend ourselves if you cannot defend us. The same thing now, even some of the chiefs of the security agencies are saying, go and acquire weapons, come to us, acquire weapons, so that while you acquire them, why don't you say, don't say that, come to us, Nnamdi Kanu, tell your people to come to us, to come and get weapons to defend themselves. You could have said that to him. Then if he says, no, I don't want to, that'd be a different thing. The double standards just can't be defended. Okay? Please, let's watch our in-house video, then we'll come back.
What happened in Ekiti State on June 20, 2026 is beyond an election. It is a review and preview of the kind of anarchy Nigeria has been, and is presently driving toward at full speed, and the peoples of Nigeria are sitting in the passenger seats watching it happen, wishing for safe travels. This is episode 8 of the quest for a safe Nigeria. Please subscribe and turn on notifications right now so you never miss a video in this series. INEC, the institution responsible for elections in Nigeria, declared Governor Biodun Oyebanji of the APC the winner of the 2026 Ekiti governorship election with 319,224 votes, making him the first incumbent governor in Ekiti State history to secure re-election. On the surface, that sounds like a democratic success story, but look closer and the picture changes completely. It is alleged by multiple sources that APC agents distributed between 15,000 naira and 20,000 naira to influence voters during the election. Premium Times reporters on the ground observed several cases of vote buying across multiple polling units. Bread was thrown to citizens on the streets. During campaigns leading to the election, videos circulate online of people openly flaunting money they had received, and nobody appeared ashamed or concerned about any of it. Using a conservative estimate of 5,000 naira per vote, the over 319,000 votes cast for the winning candidate would represent over 1.5 billion naira in vote buying alone. Ekiti State's primary healthcare budget is reported to be under 100 million naira for the whole fiscal year. The Ekiti people were handed back a paltry fraction of their own money in exchange for surrendering their right to demand all of it be spent on their development and their well-being. That is showcasing of the weaponization of poverty and hunger dressed up as governance. When will the peoples of Nigeria understand that governance is service? Governor Alex Otti in Abia State has been building roads and other infrastructure critical to development and delivering visible governance. People talk about him because of his works, not his wallet. The winner of the Ekiti election is of the same party as the President of Nigeria, whose spokesperson Mr. Bayo Onanuga has referenced hunger as rumor, and where a political activist who supports that party, Sunday Igboho, who has openly declared that no other political party would be allowed to campaign freely in the southwest of Nigeria, is obviously being positioned as larger than state security personnel. This is not a one-state story. It is a national rehearsal for 2027. This road to anarchy has been visible for a long time, and Nigeria has never lacked voices willing to name it, only leaders willing to listen. One of such voices, Sonny Akoson, was born on January 1st. Spent his career asking questions Nigeria still has not answered. A musician, songwriter, and activist from Edo State, South Nigeria, he built his legacy on socially conscious music, blending Afrobeat, reggae, and highlife into a voice for political accountability and Pan-African freedom. His 1985 recording Which Way Nigeria was a patriotic call to action, placing responsibility for Nigeria's direction in the hands of its citizens rather than its leaders. In it, he called out plainly, "Let us save Nigeria." Over 40 years later, that call is more urgent than the day he first made it.
Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to? Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way?
The peoples of Nigeria need to carry out a confrontation of ideas. When a prospective leader comes to your community, tell them what is required. This is what we need. Will you deliver it? If the answer is no or vague, they should not receive a single vote. Nigeria is on a highway to anarchy. Vote buying, inhumane bread throwing, a constitution that protects power rather than the people, leaders who purchase consent rather than earn it, these are not isolated events. They are a system, and systems do not change by themselves. The peoples of Nigeria need to mobilize and collect their PVCs, confront prospective candidates, demand accountability when things are not done correctly, vote for leaders with track records of reliability, demand a restructuring referendum on the 2027 ballots so that Nigeria finally transitions back to regions, and so that the 1999 constitution is reviewed to represent the culture, traditions and aspirations of all the peoples of Nigeria. That is the safe and peaceful way forward for Nigeria and the peoples of Nigeria. Our full live stream goes much deeper on all of these issues. Please watch it at May Nigeria Never Happened to You and bring your questions. Thank you for watching. Please share this video with everyone you know with interest in Nigeria's development and well-being. Please subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next video. May Nigeria happen for all its peoples, and for friends of Nigeria.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the video. Well, we always try to crystallize all the salient issues we've raised in our short in-house video. You could take it as a summary, go back to view it again. Okay, distribute it, share it generously. Thank you for doing that. And then here is an appeal here again. Okay, we're still running a GoFundMe campaign to produce this book, Biafra Lest We Forget Too, as a documentary. Why is this important? You see, all of the things that are happening now, but for the videos that have become available on YouTube, a lot of Nigerians that have become a little bit loosened about the misconceptions that have been fed over time over certain national issues wouldn't be in the position they are now if those videos had not been produced. And a whole lot of them have a lot of biases in them. I don't have any reasons to be biased about anything about that war as far as concerned, as far as how it impacts the ordinary person is concerned. I was a child, but I experienced it. I was about 7 when it started. I was about 11 when it was said to have ended. It hasn't ended till today, I can tell you that. And any right-thinking person know that Nigeria has remained in the state of war psychologically and in so many other ways, economically, ever since till now, and has now gone into a physical mode in that issue of being in a state of war. Okay, so please support my GoFundMe campaign. That you see on the screen, the QR code and the link to donate. Support us to produce this, and the plan is for us to include stories by other survivors and victims of that war, not to open up anything, but to keep the records straight. And also to let you know what you risk by deciding just to say it doesn't concern you now. It does concern you. My parents were like that. Were going about their businesses is those people. I want politicians, that's Yoruba. For Igbo, on the politics, on the, it's them. It's not them, it's you. Now, who was doing 15 pine the wine? Who? Somebody who doesn't know how much house rent is. Yeah, I'm sure. Okay. So you need to let people know what they stand to lose or what stands to happen if they do not hold themselves accountable and stand their grounds to hold others accountable. Yes, that's the essence of my writing this book, and that's the reason for which I want to produce that documentary and put it in the public domain. We're not going to sell it. This book is for sale, it's available, it's online. Find it on from any online bookstore that you buy your books from. It's available there. Support us, support this program, support this project. Would appreciate you for doing that. Thank you so much. Okay, if you have already subscribed to our channel, thank you. If you have not, please subscribe to this channel. It's free. Okay, that's how you help us to keep going. And of course, share the live stream, share the videos to your friends if you think that what we are doing here, it's helpful in any way. Okay, thank you, and we believe it is. Okay, thank you so much. So even in the state that Nigeria is in terms of security, I want you to see the next videos. Shegumi again, and he's walking about free. Nothing has happened. Nothing has happened to him. Shegumi should be made and seen to have been invited by the security agencies and questioned about his role in the ongoing insecurity issues and the loss of lives and properties of Nigerians. Yes, he has issues to answer for. So hear him again.
If you think you are too big for
Controversial cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi has emerged with a new viral clip questioning why armed groups are labeled bandits when they are open to government dialogue, arguing for negotiation over military force. Let's take a look.
Push them into that terror beyond what they are doing now, because yes, it can get worse. They have shown us their willingness to negotiate. So people that are ready to negotiate, why are you rushing to just declare them bandits so that you can use whatever weapons you want? Before, they used to catch Boko Haram and present them to the authorities in Zamfara. But now they're all terrorists. Secondly, the only door that remains, that is we clergy to go in and negotiate with them, is
why should people who are killing people across Nigeria, abducting, kidnapping, raping, maiming, including high-ranking military officers, why should government designate them as terrorists? Meanwhile, Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB and the ESN have been designated for how long now as terrorist groups for doing what? No, excuse me. Can anybody weigh Sheikh Gumi's roles as against Nnamdi Kanu's roles, and then ask yourself who should be behind bars out of the two of them? Even Sunday Igboho, can we weigh what did Nnamdi Kanu say or do as again what the ultimatum that Igboho was given in that video, for which people are clapping for him? Now, I am not trying to be sentimental or tribal or ethnical in any way. I can't be. I can't afford to be. For so many reasons, I can't. It's not possible. I've told you people, I'm not embarrassed by it by any long shot. My father is Yoruba, I'm Yoruba. My mother is Igbo, I'm Igbo. I have grandchildren. They are from 4 different tribes of Nigeria. So when you say go where? And there are many. Look at what is raging on in northern Nigeria now. A group of Hausa, you said, no, we are not Hausa Fulani. Unfortunately, that is like mixing Gary and salt or Gary and sugar. How do you separate them? Centuries of intermarriages. Some of those who are speaking, their father might be Hausa, their mother is Fulani or some other. So when are the peoples of Nigeria going to understand that what the issue is bad governance, bad leadership? It's not about where anybody comes from. There is a document circulating in social media now. I don't know how real it is, about some regional governance thing with some 4-tier governance structure from July 2026. I don't know, is this July or October? I can't remember which date now. That's not going to cut it, because the people are not involved. Because you are not running a military regime that you just sit somewhere and say, this is what you are going to do. Transitioning back to regional governance must involve the people. You must put it in the ballot for your next. And in itself will not even work unless the 1999 constitution, from which whatever that is happening now has been happening that has not helped anybody, is abrogated, abolished, or reviewed, or whatever it is. Go back to 1963 constitution. It's not perfect, but you can perfect it. It's closer to what, but let the people be involved in it. That's actionable. That's not talk. That's not violence. That's not rioting. Demand it, organize, mobilize, move, demand it. Now, not later. Now, they have not printed the ballot papers for that election, if it ever holds. So this is the time to insist on what must be on the ballot. And the government, if you are really thinking about Nigeria and the peoples of Nigeria, you will listen to them. You will listen. And you will shock it. We did what you said we should do. This is the result. Yes, at least. Now, so there's now rumored document, they call it a bill of regional something So you have 40 years of that's confusion. That's still going on the trajectory of the distraction and diversion, like National Security Advisor, Homeland Security, Nigerian military, and the defense groups generally, security agencies, and then you are talking about forest. Now, state police, wonderful, wonderful, but who's going to be in charge? Who's going to fund it? That's the problem. It's not about that you bill for state police, and Senator Baribe stood up to say, yes, a wonderful idea, but then watch the money, watch the control. If the federal government is going to be involved in any way in terms of who the state police should report to, it's useless. Yes, let states fund their police services. I should not call them police force, it should be service. Police services, let them understand that what they're going to do is render a service, security service, not force. If you are looking for who to copy, you're good at copying. Go to America, look at the structure, FBI, state police, city police. Look at it. Go to the UK, you have community police and the community people who are members of the community police are from the community. People know them, they know the people in that community. They serve there for life. They are not transferred from one place to another. They are there. So that when they do things, even the members of the community know them. They know the members of the community. If somebody comes to report something, they say, we know that family. That doesn't sound like what they would do. But they will still go to investigate. That's where that should head. Not somebody being in Abuja calling and say, don't do anything. Like the people who called and had the state governor tear gassed because you want to restrict him from saying what is happening in the state that he's supposed to be the chief security officer. So the state governor, forget, say they will use it to intimidate. Intimidation will only last a season. It's a state, it will be localized. It's like what just happened in Ekiti State over the election. It's Ekiti State, that's not federal. Okay, so states can be handled, then the federal police will act like the FBI, they can investigate. It doesn't mean that that will solve every problem. No, there are still structural issues that need to. But the first set of structural issues that need to be taken care of is to be sure that the state police service will report to the state government, that they are formed by legislation through the state's House of Assembly, that they are funded by the state, not the federal at all. They can, because if you remove natural resources from the exclusive list that we've been advocating should happen, why would any state be waiting to get allocation from federal government to fund its police? So these are things that need to be on the ballot. Yes. When they're talking about restructuring, it's not okay, we are region this, we are region. That's even the start. That can't solve all the problem. You see Ekiti State, in Nigeria, there are only 2 states in Nigeria that could be considered homogeneous. 2, just 2. Ekiti and Bayelsa. But are they united? No. That's the point. If you give some people a chance in Ekiti, they will form another state. They will come up with a name why they want to become a different state from that same seemingly homogeneous group that's Ekiti. There are the towns in Ekiti that don't have the affix Ekiti after it, and can count them in one hand. F1, LI, but it's Ekiti. You can find them a few others, but every town in Ekiti, every community is something Ekiti. But the Ekiti people, are they united? No. So it's not about the geopolitical division, structural. I have talked a number of times about the former Yugoslavia. They didn't become those 7 or 8 countries that make up that geographical space previously called Yugoslavia in one day. And they didn't arrive at those number of countries now peacefully. Nigeria has an opportunity to transition peacefully, intentionally, structured, organized by itself, by involving the people, not by dictating to the people. No. Not by using an already skewed document. Let the people feel ownership. Do you know what the difference in Abia State is and all of that? It's what the guy is he doing everything? Is everything he's doing 100% right? No. But the people see visibly, substantially, that he's attending to their needs. One term. For those who are saying Peter Obi cannot, nothing can, one time is too short. One time is not too short to get started on the trajectory of good governance. No. If one individual stays there for 100 years, doesn't want to get anything done right, it will not be done right. Go and ask the people in Cameroon and Uganda their experiences. So you will understand. So for everything we're talking about, there are living examples you can go to. Thank God you don't need to leave your home. Carry your phone. Type governance in Uganda or type governance in Cameroon. Then you see what you, depending on what you ask, you will get answers. Okay? So why is Shegumi still walking about? But let's not, why is Shegumi saying that? That's another young man that is calling out. That's why we're saying this, that Nigeria is on the highway to anarchy. Another young man from Plateau State, another video, making a speech while his colleagues, two, he said, were dead, covered by green leaves, from where he's making that speech. And other youths around him are organized, quiet. He looked like somebody who they could listen to. He's calling out for help from the government. Who is asking? Who is answering? Hear him. So you hear who. And what is his conclusion? After this time, whatever happens, but tomorrow now they will go and arrest him if something happens and say, they might even frame him. He's calling for help now. Who is listening? Nnamdi Kanu called that for help from the beginning. I showed you a video here where he was, celebrating Nigeria in the UK, in the public, until he got disillusioned and said, look, these people are not serious with anything. Incidentally, a lot more Nigerian youths, Nigerian people are beginning to say that this government is not there to help us, we should help ourselves. That's not a good thing to happen. That is, in as much as you're saying community defense is good, community, some people will hijack it internally and externally. Crazy things will happen. You are headed for Yugoslavia. Huh? Let's watch that community youth leader from Plateau. Okay?
These Fulani people have been living in this land, and they have not taken even single permission from the community. We have not given them chance. We have not given them any space for them to live in our own land. And us, the real owners of the land, we cannot longer go there to even take our own farm. Our women cannot even go there. Us, the young people, to even go there to even search for what is going to help us, we cannot even get there because they have surrounded us. In fact, whenever we are even going there, if we are not many, definitely will experience this kind of incident. Like last 2 months, the same incident happened that 2 of my youth again died. And I have continued to plead with these youth that are here to even remain calm. I have continued to plead with them to remain calm. The same place that they killed 2 people that are around that Tahe is the same place that the death of a cow was found last 2 weeks, where we were even called for a security meeting for a report, and they detained us that we must provide the people that listen. But where are the people that are listening? And we know that these Fulani people, based on the people that escaped, is Fulani. They shot Fulani people that were even running after this thing. Where are they now? But last week we have to even buy a cow for them. But who is going to pay the life of this youth? And I want to call the attention of the government and the security agency. For so many months, I have continued to plead with this youth to remain calm. And I cannot even stop everybody here from doing what they want to do. And then nobody should come and hold me responsible or come and hold any committee leader responsible of whatever is going to happen. So we are calling them. If they are not going to guarantee our safety, our security here, we will definitely allow the youth to even take their own step, whatever they want to even do. So I'm saying this from today. From today, I will not continue to even speak with the journalists. I will not continue to even talk with people like this. But if the security cannot, imagine since yesterday night that this incident happened, I have not seen, I have tried, I have called the sector, I have called the DSS, I have called the police people. If not only the police people, the B division that went to take the other person to the hospital, but nobody have even come here. No government officials have come here. So I'm still pleading with the governor of Plateau State, even with the president of Nigeria, to come to our own aid. Or if not, we cannot tell the people what they are going to do. We will be left. In fact, we are going to allow them to do whatever thing they want to do, and no community leader should be.
Welcome back. I feel very disturbed, okay, when I watched that video. It's very saddening. You could, if you zoomed in on that video, you will see a foot of one of the persons covered by those green leaves. That's a young person in Nigeria, in Plateau State, Nigeria, calling on the state government, calling on the federal government. From his speech, he has phone numbers of security agencies. He has called them. No response. But meanwhile, Shegumi is saying, why should the people who just walk into communities and kill people be categorized as terrorists? I'm going to play you another video, which will probably be, I talked about the bandits, vigilantes, take your pick, depending on who you want to believe or who want to quote, okay? The police say that they are vigilantes, but then believe who you want to. But then we should believe the security authorities or agencies or the state. But when the states make a habit of not telling the truth, that becomes challenging. And what you don't want to do as a state is make your people not to believe what you tell them. That's dangerous. But, well, whether you believe the next video that you're going to watch or not, there's somebody you can call to ask, is it true? Because it's in a studio. It's a television interview. It's a television program of somebody stating on camera in plain sight that state government, he mentioned names of bandits, of terrorists, that he says that state government has sent on pilgrimage to Mecca to go and pray to learn how to kill more people. What? Which religion endorses disrespect to human life? None. If you go to them, none. So who is pumping these people up? And the state government is alleged to have been responsible for funding them to go on Hajj. The person in the interview says up to the tune of 10 million naira each. Let's watch that video, please. Then when we come back, we take a few contributions from community members and we'll call it a day.
Audu Lankai is one of the biggest bandits. But this Audu Lankai, he interacts with government. So the person who...
Are you making an allegation or that is the reality?
It's a fact. They know. The government meets with him. The government sits with him. Government allow committee to go and sit and do this kind of thing with them. And the government knows some of this kind of thing. Even the case of Muhammadu
Namfulani,
who captured General. He was having discussions
with the government up to the time
and
he captured Rabi.
Yes, he has been. They said that he was a nice person. They can be able to communicate with him. He will help them to stop some of the bandits when they come. And this boy, Hamza, he is 22 years old. And he is operating with Osho. That's his gang friend. And Osho is 24. And this, all of them were trained by Barau, who is from Ntomaki. And this Muhammad is from Karadua in Musa local government.
And they are all alive.
They are all alive. Their parents are alive. Everybody knows. And why are these people who are staying, these terrorists? They are not in the bush or in the rocks. They are staying in the planet. So they know. So when they captured this man, if they wanted, either they know the bandit leaders. In fact, it is alleged in Katsina, the government paid about 10 million for bandits to go to Saudi Arabia for Hajj.
You are making grievous allegations.
Yeah, I said this is an allegation. It's an allegation.
You heard about it or someone showcased the evidence of
they
paying?
know. Let them say that some of these big bandits like Manuri, like this guy around Ronka area, and many of them are in Saudi Arabia. I don't know that they are back.
Bandit leaders.
Bandit leaders.
And they know they are bandit leaders.
Of course, they know.
Okay, to go to Saudi Arabia to pray for peace or to assuage them so that when they return they now surrender.
No, maybe to ridicule the religion. Because how can you be a murderer? You don't have any faith. And then they take you to Mecca and call you Al-Hajj. And then they allow you to fly from Nigerian airport and come back from Nigerian airport. And these are people who not only kill civilians, but they kill also the military.
But are you also not contradicting what you are saying, that, okay, these bandits should also be incorporated in the peace process?
Not peace. What we are doing, the movement that time we are doing for stopping the bandits.
Okay.
We said that it should be a community responsibility. Those people who participate, they are not paid by government. It is through their own internal contribution mechanism. And you know the behavior of how you take this kind of people is not you just make a recruitment process. No, the recruitment process should be, people must be from the community. So if you are taking local vigilante person, for example, in Abuja, in Wusi, so you cannot go and take somebody from Garki. It has to be somebody in that community whom even in the night, if you see somebody walking, you can say that was the step of ABCD.
Well, thank you for watching that. You will see where Nigeria is. That's not rumor. That's not social media content creation, as they want to say. So what do you want people to do? So when we are talking about anarchy, just try to put, collate all that we have presented to you here, and what do you see? What do you see loading up? Okay? What do you see loading up? A state where a retired general had been killed. The terrorist, the person who kidnapped him in the first place is known. The name is known. Somebody came on TV, mentioned who he is, his father, his mother. Yes. So these ones now are not the foreign imported. Those problems are there on their own, but you have community members. So are you now wondering why it's become so challenging for the security? And why some state government have said, look, the military, not the state government, I said, look, we are not, empowered to stop state governors from negotiating with bandits. And you now begin to wonder why the federal government has not thought it necessary to declare state of emergency in those states, remove those governors, put the military in charge to crush this nonsense. They're shielding their community members, maybe even using them to attack or target their enemies and whatever other interests. Yes. So it is hard time that the president of Nigeria shows up like Sunday Igboho, national TV. I give you this governor, that governor, that governor, military chiefs, this ultimatum, bring this in or else. It hasn't happened. He's still thinking about, if I say this now, this group will not vote for me. Nobody will vote for you. Even the vote buying, it will only lead to one thing, explosion. Yes. Ekiti, they are still just watching. It's not ended. If you think it's no, go and check how they behave there. But then what are community members saying here? So we can end. The first person here says on YouTube, he says, I believe the silver lining in this vote buying issue is that it proves that votes of people really count. Nobody would spend that much on something worthless. You're right. If the votes don't count, why are they buying it? Why are they paying for it? So it tells you that your vote has meaning, has worth. So defend that worth. I have told you what me I did. I don't have 10 heads. It wasn't because I was showing. I'm nobody. Yeah, I was just me, a voter. Say, no, you can't void my vote. Incidentally, the people who were in charge of Ekiti that time, a bunch of them and your Senate and your House of National Assembly and presidency and now. So what difference are you expecting? What difference? You need nobody is coming to help you. Not America, not anybody. It's you. Don't help yourself. I want to emulate you. We want such role models. So I'm ready to put what I know how, what I have the capacity to do on the line to help her so that other people can see that you can become something by protecting your integrity and protecting the integrity of the public good. Yes. Another person here says, what would the end goal of making Sunday Igboho seem invincible? Of course, is to create more mayhem, of course, to defend one person, to propagate one person, to push one person forward and say, you can't come here. I mean, that's it. Unfortunately, the politicians have not learned anything. Some of the people who are terrorizing, who made this whole thing now to become the big industry that it has become, how did they come in? We showed you in previous episodes that somebody, Kawubaraje said, yeah, we brought them in from some other places to help us win the 2015 election. We paid them afterwards and they refused to go. So Sunday Igboho too, depending on the kind of thing he thinks he will, but at a point, he will also see himself larger than, is he not seeing himself larger than some people now? Because somebody is there. It will not end well. Yeah, it will end well. Another person here said, in a state of anarchy, what exactly would the political class in Nigeria? Nothing. They will benefit. They will run away. They would enter their private jets and relocate. They have monies in foreign banks and all of that. So that is why you have to be the one to stand up for yourself. Yes. Okay? Yes. Don't you think Nigeria's traditional leaders are being too passive about the current situation? They are compromised. They are compromised. Go to some of these places. Those monies are being shared in palaces or traditional rulers' places. That's where those meetings hold. They are compromised. And
na Kano ne.
Wannan kuma
kai me yasa kake haka ne Aminu? Kai wannan ma me yasa kake haka ne Aminu? Me yasa kake haka ne?
A sun tubo argument ne.